Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How is life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good. Hope everything is great. And before we get into the subject of today's video, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy solstice. Tomorrow is the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere. I believe it's summer solstice if you're in the southern hemisphere. So happy solstice to you. And if you're new here, maybe you don't know, but solstice is my preferred holiday to celebrate with my family and my children, and so they'll come over and we'll have gift exchange and dinner and all that sort of stuff. The stuff that you would normally associate with this time of year, we do on solstice. And one other little update, I got the chairs done. I got them done today. I had today off for a few reasons, the main one being Rise of Skywalker. And so I spent some time working on the chairs, got them finished, and then went and saw Rise of Skywalker. And it's probably going to be impossible for me to talk about this movie without giving you some spoilery type information. I'll try not to go into gory detail. I feel like if you're going to this movie, depending on your expectations, you may or may not find what you're looking for. I found what I was looking for. I found a meaning and purpose in the previous 8 films. I found a larger understanding of the world in which these characters live in, and I cried. I cried a few times, actually. I would say there was a lot of heartstring moments in this movie, and that was a good thing. But right off the top, I will tell you that I thought the movie was wonderful. Just a wonderful expose, a wonderful way to wrap up the series. And as much as I did not like the episodes 1, 2, and 3, and as much as I did not like the direction that Special Edition took the movies, and as much as I kind of thought that I was over the whole Skywalker saga, like I just don't care anymore, this movie made me really miss all of those characters already. Like, it made me miss the whole thing. And I think that the reason that it made me miss it all is because we've been calling this the Skywalker saga for so long, but in the end, it really doesn't have anything to do with the Skywalkers. Like, in the end, it has to do with an idea and an ideal, and it has to do with purpose, and it has to do with the journey that goes along with finding that purpose, and failure and success and everything that's tied up in it. And I think my favorite part of this movie is it doesn't sit and like wrap everything up in neat little bows for you. It doesn't try to be the end cap for all of these characters. It's the end cap for the storyline. It's an end cap for the reign of Palpatine, the reign of the Sith, the reign of the Jedi. It's an end cap for all of that. But it doesn't tie up all those ends. Yeah, you kind of find out who Rey's parents are, but it also doesn't matter. It never mattered. That's the whole point of the thing. It doesn't matter. Like, who she was supposed to be is not who she ends up being. That's the point. And that's kind of the point of all of it. Like, if you go way back to the beginning, there's this Anakin kid who was supposed to be this savior who was going to bring balance to the Force. And he did, if you think about it. We don't get to see it, but we know between episodes 3 and 4 that Vader went off and killed all the Jedi. Like, just murdered them all. Because he was that strong. Because, and it was down to basically 1 Jedi and 1 Sith. Like, that was it. Like, or 2 and 2, because Yoda was still out there. So that was balance, right? Like, that the light side had gotten too strong. And so this whole prophecy of who Anakin was supposed to be, it didn't matter. In the end, it didn't matter. In the end, he throws Emperor Palpatine off a bridge, and he takes his mask off and looks at his son. and he becomes human again. He becomes real. And we get to see that character transition through Kylo. Kylo goes through this whole quest to become Vader, only to find out that he's still Ben. And it's not too late to go back to being Ben. It's not too late to turn your back on what you fought for when you realized that what you were fighting for was wrong. And that's the point. And the whole Rey Palpatine thing, who cares? Like, again, it doesn't matter. And at the end of the movie, the final cap, when she says, "I'm Rey Skywalker," that's the point. Like, she wasn't destined to be anything. She got to be who she wanted to be. And I think it was a wonderful ending to a very, very long 30-year journey. And I definitely want to see it again. I will watch it again multiple times. I'll probably watch this entire trilogy multiple times. I really had fun with it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the darker tones. I enjoyed the more mystical sense of it all, as opposed to just like happy-go-lucky Crusaders. But that's the thing. Like, we got that in this movie. There was a lot of laughs. I cried probably a few times. But there was a lot of laughs too. There was a lot of really good, jovial moments with some really fun characters. There was a lot of new people introduced that were very interesting. We got to see a few sides of some of our familiar characters that we hadn't seen before. So I really loved it. I really thought it was an amazing film. It really tied everything together for me in a way that I felt rewarded. Still haven't seen episode 3. I don't think I'll ever watch it. Don't need to. Like, I watched the scenes. I watched all the really bad scenes, all the Mace Windu scenes, where just the horrible dialogue. And I watched the creation of Vader. Those are the only scenes I need to see from that movie. But maybe someday, I have Disney Plus now because of The Mandalorian, which I'm loving, by the way. And maybe someday I'll go and just watch all of them, all 9 of them in order, and see, maybe through different eyes, now that I know where it all tied back to with Palpatine and the Sith, and the destruction of the Sith, where all that goes. But there was a whole lot of feel-good moments. There was a whole lot of nods. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else. J.J. Abrams did a fine job. Like, it wasn't spectacular. His directing is, like, it's stylistic. Lots of lens flare, whatever. I don't really have anything bad to say about him, but I don't look at his films like there's some sort of masterpiece, Like, I don't look at him like I look at Kubrick. I don't look at him like I look at Lynch. I look at those two as these very powerful directors. I look at J.J. Abrams like he does a good job with telling his story. I wish he'd get rid of the stupid lens flare, because it's really dumb. But whatever. Yeah, loved it. Took my kid. This is the 5th year in a row that we've gone, and this is the first time I didn't have to bust her out of school. They didn't have school today, so in the past I've had to break her out of school to go see Star Wars. Today we didn't have to do that, so we got to go together and finish the series together, and we'll see. I'm excited to see where Rian Johnson goes with his trilogy. I assume that's still on. I personally am excited for it, so I don't know what the future holds. Let me know what you thought of Rise of Skywalker in the comments below. Be honest. I don't get offended. I'm not that kind of nerd. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people, and have a truly happy solstice tomorrow. I'll see you Monday. Alexa, tell me a random fact.
President Calvin Coolidge had a donkey called Ebenezer, a group of lion cubs called the Tax Reduction and Budget Bureau, and a pygmy hippopotamus called Billy.
I've never heard that. The lions. That's fun.